let's go over what I have so far on my book. I started by watching the Disney nature show Bears, and I put all of my notes on the organizer. Then I wrote my introduction. I haven't drawn my picture yet, but I do have my introduction. Then I started and I wanted to work next on my diet page. So I looked at my organizer and I saw that for the diet column, I didn't have so much information. So I needed to go back and do some more research so that I could fill that up, and then I could write on my diet page. Remember, I had so much on my diet page that I wrote, and then I ran out of space, so I had to turn it around on the back and finish on the back. Today, let's go ahead and start on our habitat page. Start on the habitat page, okay? So I'm gonna look back at my organizer and I have the habitat right here, and I'm gonna read that it says their habitat, because I know that the movie took place mostly in Alaska. So the habitat is in Alaska. There were some forest, trees, a cave that the movie started in. I feel like I need to do a little bit more research on habitat before I start writing. Okay, so I'm gonna type in down on the Google search bar, Disney Nature Bears Habitat. And I see I'm getting the results that I wanted. Here's some of the movie. And here's a page that says About Bears, Disney Nature. Look, that's the movie that I watched. Awesome. So it just has a little bit of an overview of the movie, but it says characters, and it has all of the bears that I saw in the movie and even the scheming wolf that was in the movie. And then in the gallery, I see some pictures. So I'm going to take a look at these pictures and see if I can add anything to my habitat organizer before I begin writing my habitat page. Looking at these pictures, I see that this one shows the bears walking around on ice. So I'm going to put a comma after Alaska because remember, on our note taker, we're not writing full sentences. We're just writing down simple little words that are going to help us write our habitat page. So I just did a comma, which is like break, because Alaska is a thought. And then I'm going to write down icy plain, because to me, it kind of looks like they're walking around on a big slab of ice. All right, this page was awesome, but I'm going to see if I can do some more research to find out more about where the bears live. When I started to research a little bit more, I typed in Alaska bear habitat instead of just Disney Nature Bear Habitat, and I found this interesting fact. Brown bears live in a broad range of ecosystems, including subalpine mountain regions, the icy tundra, and thickly wooded forests. So I've got forests, which include trees on my organizer, cave, Alaska, icy plain, and then I'm going to write down mountains too. I feel like I've got just enough information to start my habitat page. Okay, I've got my organizer right here, very close to me, and my habitat page right here. And I wrote habitat up at the top. Okay, so I'm ready to start writing. Okay, so I'm going to start my page off by saying own. Make sure that I use my finger to leave a space. Bears. Ooh, I love that word live, and I know that there is a vase prop E at the end because otherwise Vicky Violet would tip over and her vase of violets would spill all out. Brown bears live in, which is a sight word, so I know how to spell that, Alaska. And I wrote Alaska down on my organizer, so I don't need to look up how to spell that or stretch that word out. I took notes right off of a website, so I looked at how Alaska was spelled, I put it on my organizer, and now I can write it on my page. Alaska. Brown bears live in Alaska. I'm going to make sure that I end my sentence with a what? A period. That's right. Brown bears live in Alaska. I'm going to write they, which is another sight word, so I can look up how to spell that one. I'm going to put a finger space, live in forests is another word that I put on my organizer because I spelled it right from my research. So I'm not having to look that one up either or stretch it out. They live in forests, mountains, and ice. Icy areas. Awesome. That writing was a little bit tricky, and I might have to get Mom to help me stretch out some of those words, but I'm always going to try first one time by myself. All right. Remember, just like we did last time, our pencil is our magical wand in writing. So we used this end to write our words. And now I'm going to flip to the editing side, and I'm going to make sure that I touch my words as I read and reread my writing so that I can make sure if I've left anything out, I can go back and add it. Brown bears live in Alaska. They live in forests, mountains, and icy areas. What do you guys think? You think it's pretty good? I think it's pretty awesome too. I can add my habitat page. Ooh, remember our important step at the end. Don't forget, or at the beginning, to put the page number that you want. This is my 3rd page, and I'm going to put it behind my introduction. My diet is page 2, and then this habitat is page 3. So I've got my pages all in order. I'm ready to move on to family. As always in Writer's Workshop, I'm going to make sure that I'm drawing some pictures to go with my pages. So this is my picture on the introduction page. I'm coloring in a big old mama brown bear, just like the one that I watched and I've been researching. And so I'm coloring her in, taking lots of time to make sure that this is a wow picture. Now, a lot of you guys, when you're coloring, will leave your picture like that and say, boom, I'm done. But no way. You know what we like to call our pictures in kindergarten, especially in Writer's Workshop? Wow pictures, right? So this picture right here, I'm on my introduction. I said, this is my book about bears. Bears are an awesome animal to learn more about. If I just leave my picture just like that, is it going to grab the reader and say, hey, you have got to read this book? No way, it is not. I've got to add details. The bears are a little bit lighter on their noses, so I'm going to try and use this white crayon to make it a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to make sure that I add some eyes and a happy mouth because I feel like my bear would be really happy. Add her eye. Make sure that that mouth is there. And then I'm not going to stop there. I am going to include a background. So I know that this bear lives, because I've just done my habitat page, I know where the bear lives. So on every single picture that I draw for my book, I want the background to show a part of that habitat. So I said that they live in those icy mountains. So I'm going to try to draw some of those icy mountains in the back. Now, the ice was mostly white, but when you see ice, you can also include blue. So I'm going to add some light blue tint to show that this is an icy area. And you know what I could do to really, really make sure that everybody knows that this is an icy area because this is an all about book? I can include a label. If you said label, give yourself 3 high fives. 1, 2, 3, because labels are really important, right? So I can label, I can just draw an arrow and I can write I see mountain. And make sure that it's really clear so that if a reader looks at my picture, they're going to see a brown bear and then they're going to see this icy mountain and they're going to go, whoa, my goodness, I have to learn more about that icy mountain and that big old mama bear. Excellent job today in Writer's Workshop, you guys. I hope that your book now has 3 awesome pages, an introduction, a diet page, and a habitat. Stay tuned for the family page.